All right, it's 5:31. We're going to dive in. Thank you all for being here. We're excited to talk to you about that transition from your DSA students' experience in 8th grade and what it can look like 9th grade and beyond. So let's jump in here. The agenda, really a brief overview. All of you probably saw in the newsletter, we set aside 30 minutes for this. And you can see that under construction sign there. Due to weather last week, postponing, a lot of performances this week, rehearsals, callbacks, a variety of circumstances, we do not have the students here we were hoping to have, but we did not want to push it again because you were so patient with us moving from last week to this week. So what we're going to do is we're going to pivot there at the end and just open up mics to take questions from you. And provide the answers we have, and then take those questions to the students that were going to be here and really get that student perspective and share that back out to you. Whether that's a written FAQ doc or videos, we're trying to navigate, but unfortunately we're not going to have that student voice here tonight, but we are committed to getting that student voice to you before we head into winter break, so your family can make informed decisions there. So why DSA High School? Hopefully those of you on this call have been with us for 3 years, but maybe you've only been with us a year. Maybe this is your first time with us. High school is an important decision. We obviously want all of our students to be here for 7 years from 6 through 12, but we know that 8th to 9th transition is very important, and there's a lot of things that go into the high school. We know your students are already thriving in our middle school model, where we pair those strong academics with that art form that they love. And our high school program builds on that. The minimal transition is beneficial for students. They get to stay in a place where the adults already know them, already care about them, where they've already built those relationships. DSA is that smaller community where we're really focused on students feeling seen, supported, and challenged. We also want to make sure that those students get more opportunities when they move into high school, so they grow each year. At the top of the list for next year is that Iovine and Young partnership that we're very excited about for our 9th grade students. We're meeting with arts directors, we're meeting with the Iovine and Young team to really nail in what those courses look like, and we'll have more details of that by choice of studies, but we're very excited for that. We also have the ability to offer some more electives in the high school that we don't have in the middle school. So that transition from 8th to 9th grade, we really focus on more opportunities, that safe and inclusive environment, and just building on that strong foundation they have from their middle school years with us. So in our high school, many of you have experienced this in the middle school. In our high school, our academic strengths get even more. We say it quite a bit, we're more than an art school. We take our academics very seriously, and our results show that. Our most recent rankings from US News and World Report, we're the #1 high school in DPS, and we're the #6 high school in the state. And we've got our eyes on increasing that ranking. We're very focused on having teachers and coaching our teachers that know how to push students while still supporting them through the hard parts. And that push can look like differentiating up for our very gifted and talented students. It can also look like differentiating for our students that are maybe a little behind. We have students on the whole spectrum here at DSA, and we're very focused on making sure every student is getting that individualized support they need when it comes to their academics. At DSA, one of the benefits of our slightly smaller model, we're at about 650 kids in the high school right now, is it gives our teachers an opportunity to really get to know the students and give more of that one-on-one attention than they may get in a larger comprehensive high school. Thinking for myself, coming from a larger comprehensive high school, when there's 550, 600 kids in a 9th grade class, it can be harder to really individualize that attention. At DSA, we have a smaller group. We're looking at about 200 to 210 9th graders next year, and that lets us really focus in and individualize those academic supports. Our high school also includes all of the honors classes. We include a slate of AP classes, and we include concurrent enrollment courses. So your student gets to pursue college credit and honors level work in a variety of pathways. We also build schedules that let students challenge themselves without losing their art time. They're going to keep that 90+ minutes daily in their arts. We want all of our students to succeed both academically and artistically. A big change from middle school to high school is that student life component. We offer clubs, we offer affinity groups, we have our Black Student Alliance, we have our Hispanic student group, we have our Jewish student group. We see an increase in club offerings, affinity groups, and leadership roles in our high school. Something that we as the leadership team are committed to is increasing student leadership, working with not just our middle school, but also getting out into our neighboring schools, and having student groups, student-led groups, help us with getting more families and getting more students into DSA. So we have some groups who are working with elementary schools right now. We're looking at how we can broaden that and expand that. We have student-led groups who are bringing in professional artists to offer master classes and talk to our students. And a lot of that is student-led and student-driven. And that is part of that student life piece here. We also, can be a common misconception, our high school students get to play athletics through DPS. We have kids who are playing for East, we have kids who are playing for Montbello, we have kids playing athletics at Northfield. Your student can pursue athletics and stay at DSA. It is not an either or. We work with the athletic directors around schedules to make sure that that is possible and that works. We're also growing our whole child support and really focus on that in high school because there's so much identity development taking place between 9th and 12th grade as they shift from those early teen years to really adulthood and a post-secondary life. So we're really focused on broadening that whole child support, whether that's adding some social workers as we did this year, looking at how we can staff up our counseling team going forward, setting aside time for our high school teachers to talk with kids and talk about kids to make sure that they are individualizing that support. We're really focused on that whole child piece as you shift into high school, especially knowing that the rigor and the academics step up in those 9th to 12th grade years. And for some students, that pressure that they feel comes with some challenges, and we want to support them in those challenges. We want to help them navigate that executive functioning increase or that perfectionism or any other ways those exceptionalities may show up. We also are looking to expand and have expanded opportunities to connect and grow outside of their major. We try to schedule our students in a way that they're exposed to a variety of students, a variety of beliefs, a variety of backgrounds, so that they are not sheltered or siloed within their major. We want them working across majors. We want them working with kids we want VA kids working with guitar kids, working with stagecraft kids. So that is something we are very intentional about. And again, just supporting them and balancing that art with that student life piece, because so much of their high school experience is going to happen outside of the 4 walls of DSA, or the 8 walls considering our 2 campuses. And so we want to make sure that they have that experience. We saw a lot of questions in terms of feedback from families, and anticipating some questions when we open this up of kind of what expands in the high school, what changes for my 8th grader when they choose DSA as a high schooler, as a 9th grader. So they're going to go deeper in their work and their major. It opens up new layers of learning that allows us to really dive in both in their major and in those academics. They have more space for electives that connect to their interest. Again, Iovine and Young is very exciting for next year for our 9th graders, but for those of you who came to the community forum or who maybe I've talked to, there's a multi-year plan to expand our elective offerings for our high school beyond just the Iovine and Young offerings. We are not where we want to be in terms of those offerings yet, but we're going to get there. We're going to increase the elective offerings for our high school students. Excuse me. Academically, your kids can take honors classes, AP classes, CE classes. So they can get that chance to start earning that college credit as early as their 9th grade year, which is something that helps set us apart from some other schools and can really in our current climate can help defray some college costs, which is an important factor to consider. Their art becomes more serious. So it does go deeper, but it also becomes more joyful. There's a little bit of release of responsibility as those students mature through our high school grades, and they really kind of get to explore who they are and their identity and try on some different hats, which is something that we're very proud of and we're continuing to focus on and build out. And we're looking at how do we integrate more real world projects? How do we integrate our performances in that portfolio development so that that DSA experience truly is a one-of-a-kind experience, but also an experience that prepares students for their post-secondary path, whether that's going to be an arts major in college, whether that's going to be professional artist, whether that's going to be some other path. We want our students leaving here after their high school experience feeling like DSA really set them up for whatever they want to pursue as a 17 or 18-year-old entering the world beyond DSA. And I know that was a question from families in that Google form we sent out, and that will be one of the questions we are talking to our students about of how do you feel we're doing in preparing you for life after DSA? So that was about 13 minutes. We had set aside 15. And so this is where we're pivoting. This was where we were going to have students here to talk to you and answer some questions. Like I said, unfortunately, that did not work out, and we appreciate your grace and flexibility with that. But what we are going to do is just invite some people to raise hands, come off mute. You can ask questions of the leadership team, or you can give us specific questions that you want us to follow up with students about. Like I said, we are committed to getting student voice represented here and making sure that you and your 8th grader can hear from DSA high school students about why they chose DSA and why they feel like it's the best choice for your student. So very kind of informal here. You can raise your hand to ask the question, or you can just come off mute, and we're going to take note of the questions and answer what we can. So there's one in the chat already. Talk more. Sorry, my screen is very small here in front of me. More about how the honors classes and credits work at DSA. So Anna, if you want to come off mute and handle that one.
Sure. Currently, because of the fact that we are a smaller school, we are not able to offer honors classes outside of traditional classes. So what we do is something called embedded honors, and that's available in pretty much all of our core content area classes: English, mathematics, social studies, and science. Excuse me. And students at the beginning of the term identify if they would like to seek honors credit. They learn about the pieces of work that will be required for honors credit. And then at the end of the term, if they have satisfied those pieces of work, they will earn honors credit. And if they haven't, then they will just earn regular credit for the class. So that's currently how we are offering honors. And I think the question was what classes? So English 1 and 2, it's also available in science in terms of civics. All 9th graders take honors biology because we want every student to have an honors experience. But chemistry, physics, and what's the third class that I'm missing right now? Chemistry and physics both have honors options. Biology, and that's a de facto, like that everyone will end up in that right away, default honors class. And then in mathematics, math 1, 2, 3, financial algebra, and in social studies, it's in U.S. history, history of power, conflict and healing, ethnic studies, and think that's it right now that I'm thinking of, but it's pretty much in all four of the core content area classes. There is honors credit available. And when students get honors credit, they're on a 5.2 scale rather than a 4.0.
Steve, I see your question in the chat, but KK had their hand raised, so we're going to start with them, and then we'll come to the question in the chat.
I wanted to ask about that Iovine Young thing. Is that going to be limited? Will it be available to everybody? And what exactly is it?
Yeah, so we don't have a satisfactory answer on exactly what it is right now because we're still meeting with them. We actually just met Monday, and we're going to meet again after break. So what we have right now is kind of an outline of the class. It's going to be based on challenge-based learning and design thinking. And what we're navigating and planning out right now is, how to integrate some artistic skill sets and artistic thinking into that. But it is going to be very student choice driven within that course. It is not going to be limited right now, except for it's only going to be available to 9th graders next year, and then we will build out 10th, 11th, and 12th. So next year we are starting with a 6th grade class, a 7th grade class, an 8th grade class, and a 9th grade class. So that is the limit that currently exists, but every 9th grader will have opportunity for that Iovine and Young course. So there's not a limit there. We will have seats available for everyone coming in. As we narrow down and really cement what the course looks like, we will share that out and make sure that families have that for choice of study so they can see, is that something their student wants to pursue? But in its current design, it is going to supplement the majors, not replace the majors. So this isn't going to be a 12th major at DSA. It's truly going to be an elective course to help our students develop and practice 21st century thinking skills that they can use in their major, but they can also use across all of their courses and their life outside of DSA. So Steve, you had, how is concurrent enrollment AP, oh, nope, sorry, need to scroll up one. How concurrent enrollment works and how it differs from honors and AP. So Anna, if you want on that one.
So concurrent enrollment is available to all students in Denver Public Schools who meet the requirements that are set by the schools. Currently, we bring the schools to us rather than, well, I take that back. We have both happening. But in order to support students being able to do all of the things that we have going on at DSA and still take college classes, we have professors come to DSA and teach here. Currently, we have 2 English teachers. We also have 2 social studies teachers, and an art history teacher, and a psychology teacher who host classes here. And those are through CU Succeeds, which is part of CU, and Community College of Denver. Parents don't have to pay for any of those classes. They're all funded through the school, and students earn college credit and high school credit for completing those classes. It's a pretty great deal, especially when you're, again, looking at the prices of earning college credits at the universities. And our students love it. We have one of our CU Succeed English teachers also writes letters of recommendation for our kids to get into college. And it's just fantastic. It's a great partnership. Students love it.
Right. And then follow-up question there, how is concurrent enrollment and AP placement determined? So
Advanced placement is based on student choice. And we will support students throughout their time in advanced placement and check in with them. If they determine that it is too much for them, we can make adjustments to their schedule. But we have a robust advanced placement course offering here at the school. And then concurrent enrollment, it's dependent on the admission requirements for the college. So what we will do is students have an attendance piece that, and I don't have it right in front of me. I pulled up the course selection guide so that I could speak to it. Let me pull it up here right now. So for those classes, they will have to AccuPlace into the class. And what that is a test just to make sure that they are college ready for the class if their GPA is not already there. And the credit that they earn from those classes will put them on a 5.2 scale.
And kind of like I mentioned in the opening, for the concurrent enrollment, especially, those costs are the schools, not the families. So it is free college credit. And depending on the student and the family, we have seen students leave here with a variety of college credits that has defrayed, depending on where they go, tens of thousands of dollars in cost for their college career. So we're very proud of our concurrent enrollment offerings and our AP offerings. Excuse me, we have very successful AP classes, and our students earn college credit on those AP tests at a very high level. So then Carrie Bernstein, what gets them honors credit? Is it just like extra credit, one project? Is it a deeper dive, pull out groups? Is it different content? And is there an example available?
So yes to all the above. It's teacher dependent. And if it's a class where we have more than one teacher teaching it, we have them collaborate to ensure that their projects or assignments are in alignment with one another. Let me see if I can pull something quickly from Schoology as an example that we can share here on the call. Give me just a moment.
Morgan, do you want to talk from a math lens?
Yeah, I think most of the math department, when we talk about honors credit, they tend to have, I would say, more abstract projects, something that the students kind of have a lot more agency around and kind of more choice around, which is usually centered around their ALPs if they are GT, but we also want all students to try for that honors credit, so all is welcome. There is scaffolds and supports. It is just trying to elevate their thinking. Sometimes on in class differentiation, you'll have students that it's like, hey, if you're trying to approach that honors credit, we want you to think about this abstract idea. So what happens when we take all the numbers away? Can you actually define what is happening to the function or to the concept when numbers aren't involved and we are actually left with just variables or constants? So small scale and large scale. Some of our teachers have projects, ongoing projects. So they'll have 3 parts and checkpoints so the teachers can check in and kind of give some guidance. But those honors projects are very largely student-led. They are student-driven and have a lot of different aspects to them. So I kind of think it just like depends, which is a little different than our middle school. So middle school, it's like, how can we skip a grade? And what is the things that we can do in order to kind of accelerate faster. But in high school, it's really about what is going to extend the thinking and make a deeper connection to what you are doing. That means, like, are we dealing with nuances? Are we thinking of different analogies behind the work? So it's really digging deeper into the standard and the understanding more in high school.
I'm dropping in the chat an English 1 honors project example from this semester, along with the work schedule that the teacher has put together for the students. I think this is representative. of what you will see in other humanities classes in terms of the work for honors credit.
I also think the goal of honors is that we believe all students are honors students. We're trying to like really push the thinking of all our students, and get students thinking about that. Because sometimes we have students that just say like, that's not me, or that's not my thing, but we're really encouraging it from all our students. So the goal is to integrate kind of that honors idea and honors thinking and deeper thought into all classes. And then like the honors component usually is a demonstration of that learning and understanding.
And then I see Chelsea has 2 questions for students, so we will make sure we get answers. Those are explicitly addressed by the students there. Anna has dropped in last year's choice of studies, so you can see what that looks like, as well as the English 1 honors project and the project timeline. Are there other questions, other concerns, other things you would like to hear when making this decision of 8th to 9th grade? All right, that felt like appropriate wait time. If not, shoot me an email and let me know. We appreciate, like I said, the grace and flexibility. Last week with the weather, with callbacks, with all of that, we needed to move to this week, thinking we would be able to get some more students here. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Life circumstances came up, but as I said, we are committed to getting student voice to you. So we're going to take these questions. We are going to take things that were submitted through the Google Forms we've sent out, and we will get that student voice and student answer to you prior to any school choice decision being made, so that you can be fully informed. If you think of anything, if you hear anything from your student, feel free to reach out to me. My email is listed on the website, and we will get you an answer as soon as possible. This was also recorded and transcripted, so we will make sure that is shared out if you had friends or family who were not able to be here tonight, or if you had to log in a little late, so you can see the full 30-minute piece. Again, thank you all so much for being here. Remind your students tomorrow's Spirit Week is Dress as Your Favorite Holiday Movie. So today was surfers versus skiers and snowboarders. I'm the only surfer on the admin team, apparently. So tomorrow we're looking forward to seeing the holiday movies, not Hollywood movies, holiday movies. And enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you all so much.